Let's get dangerous.
Superheroes are a mainstay of American comics. Ever since 1938, when Superman first debuted, you'd be hard-pressed to find a time when superheroes weren't in American pop culture. They may have dipped and surged over the years, but it's easy to say that superheroes are a part of the American cultural identity. Just look at some of the symbols we use to represent America. We have Columbia, Uncle Sam, Captain America, and Superman. But superheroes didn't come from nothing. They didn't spring forth fully formed going, "Hello, can I fight crime?" No. They were influenced, inspired, and modified from pulp stories. Now, pulp fiction, no, not that one, was inexpensive stories printed on cheap paper, often featuring lowbrow, crude, sensationalist content. Detective noir stories, crime dramas, science fiction tales to boggle the mind, though a noted example are pulp heroes. Stuff like Doc Savage, Flash Gordon, The Spirit, The Phantom, Tarzan, Conan the Barbarian. Pulp heroes didn't just turn into superheroes. They have their own legacy to this very day. I mean, we have Indiana Jones, Buckaroo Banzai, The Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew. Hell, if you think about it in a way, Goosebumps and Animorphs follow a similar path of cheaply printed books done in a relatively quick fashion in a serialized nature for an audience who ate them up. They all share the DNA with the classic pulp story. Now, if superheroes are an evolution, then there should be some missing links. And to a certain respect, there are. Early Captain America features heavy war stories. Fantastic Four often has a more sci-fi adventure feel than the traditional superhero flavor. And Batman's early stuff was basically a bat-themed pulp hero. That's it. But I specifically want to talk about a duck-shaped missing link. Darkwing Duck was a staple of my childhood. See, I was an army brat. When I was first born, he was stationed to Germany. So we packed up, moved over to Germany, and I spent the first 4 years of my life in Deutschland. But, seeing as we were military, we lived on or near a military base, I can't quite remember. And they had a video rental store. And the video I would typically want to rent was Darkwing Duck. It eventually got to the point where the cashier just said, keep it. I was the only one watching it, and I'd probably enjoy it more. At least, that's how I think the story goes. Darkwing Duck was a Darkwing Duck was a Disney afternoon show that started in 1991. Sort of a spin-off of DuckTales. Well, kind of. It's odd, because it features several similar characters like Launchpad and Gizmo Duck. The DuckTales reboot even showed Darkwing Duck, though it was a show within a show, and quite honestly, that hurt me a little bit. Please, Disney, I'm begging you, you have Disney Plus now. Just make a new Darkwing. I just need a new Darkwing. Please. This show is so good at towing the line between so many different things, but a notable thing is, well, the classic pulp stories and superhero tale. His costume is similar to the Spirit, yet his gadgets are very Batman-like. He has a young sidekick, Gosalyn, who is an adopted child, much like Batman. But she doesn't go into a costume, she's just a civilian that helps him out, like a lot of pulp heroes. Like, take for example, in the first episode, Darkly Dawns the Duck. You have a criminal mastermind trying to steal a gun. Most of the story is not an action-adventure romp, but a mystery on Darkwing's part. Most of the conflict comes through trying to gather information and the wits alone. In this story, Darkwing acts more as a detective and not a traditional superhero. And this especially comes through with his motivation. Anything he does in the show, he doesn't do for the greater moral good, but to satisfy his own ego for fame. This is not a heroic character. This motivation is such a character flaw that in later episodes, it takes his major villains teaming up and taking over the city to admit that he might need a team. the Justice Ducks, who are an obvious homage to the Justice League. In Justice Ducks, we are immediately inundated with several superhero comic tropes, okay? Not just with the team, but with the villains, who their team-up is very similar to the Sinister Six, a classic Spider-Man staple. It has superheroes colliding before they work together. It's a team of incredibly diverse powers. Even the spy organization Shush helps them out like S.H.I.E.L.D. does many a Marvel hero. And a classic trope in many a storytelling, Darkwing's arch rival is just an evil duplicate. All of the characters are homages to DC and Marvel and a variety of other bits of pop culture. Gizmo Duck is Iron Man and RoboCop. Neptuna, well, she's Aquaman and Namor. Morgana, Doctor Strange, and the visual design of Elvira. Stegmutt, he's the Hulk. Quackerjack, Joker, and Toyman. Bushroot, he's just a neurotic Poison Ivy. Megavolt's Electro, Liquidator's Hydro Man, and even the Plan is super appropriate for a superhero story. They want to take over the city. And they do it through a plan of isolation. And when I was watching that episode, it just really reminded me of Batman No Man's Land. I don't remember what video it was. I remember Movie Bob once said, to kids, parody is just more of the same, just funnier. That's what Darkwing Duck was to me. I took the stories at face value. It was fun, action-adventure, and it wasn't just superheroes. It was more. It wasn't until later that I started making those connections to Pulp Hero, and I just got those references. I just got the setup for the joke that they told. The punchline now makes sense. Darkwing Duck is an amazing series, and everybody should go out, try and watch it somehow, some way, because it was ahead of its time. Hell, I think if you just cleaned up the animation a little bit, you could put it on TV right now and people would go gaga for it. And no matter what, we all have one thing that we can take away from this whole thought. The theme song fucking slaps. Oh, hello. I didn't notice the camera I set up. I hope you enjoyed my video of Darkwing Duck. If you want, please subscribe, like, do all that kind of stuff. Follow me on Twitter, Boingo_writer. Follow me on Instagram, Boingo_writer. You can join my Discord server, which the link to that is in the description. If you want to listen to the podcast I'm in, you can go to the Modular Media YouTube channel. The link to that is in the description. And there's multiple podcasts there. Analytical Fanboys, where me and the Vacuuminator talk about pop culture. We have Modular Media Wrestling Podcast, where we take a month of wrestling and we just talk about it. Vac has a podcast called Whovian Reviewing, where he talks about Doctor Who. I show up. I don't really care about Doctor Who. I'm the wet blanket of the podcast. So. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed.